You know, the reworks and whatnot, he's still so strong. Interestingly, it's still soothing saplings, even as the carry as well, so he's gonna go for that extra bit of healing. Very nice for some sustainability. Kind of OP facet in my opinion. It does so much for your regeneration.
I guess as well, one of the things that can happen if he's playing this carry is it makes it easier for Kataomi to leave that lane sooner, to go assist on the bottom side of the map. He knows that the Nature's Prophet won't need to constantly ferry and regen, just needs like 1 point into the Sprout and he should be okay.
Yeah, see both teams kind of setting up here and waiting. Looks like we're going to have the late smoke, the common play for all Western European teams, it feels like lately, and adopted as well by Edge here, of course. I've seen some
I'm waiting to see what's the next innovation for these smokes. Like, when's going to be the no smoke meta? Or we smoke at 0, or we just walk in straight right in front of you and say, oh, now what? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we've seen there's a little bit of smoke at 0 and then just run and hold every single high ground, right? Like, you put people on every single ramp and just break the smokes from the enemy. But I don't know. It feels like the teams have a very good thought out process here. It's hard to play against. Right now we are seeing a split up from BetBoom though. Gotta be careful in the CM. Can always get caught out. Not the fastest hero.
That same CM though broke the smoke on the Tusk while her Observer Ward is on the high ground, so she gets out scot-free. Just ends up being a 2-2 bounty trade. And laning phase is going to get underway soon. The Gyro's in an interesting position, though. You might just port bottom. Okay, he was thinking about maybe approaching the wave, but he'll just port. It'll just be a normal start to the game.
Yeah, and we see body blocks happening by Save. He's making sure this creep is going to go under towers. Parker heading over to try and counter that by body blocking dire creeps. I don't know if he's in time to get a hard enough block, though. This looks like it's going under tower. Trying his hardest. Oh,
he actually did it.
Crazy block mechanics there.
Parker, God, man. What a legend. So, I do think the lane that's probably going to be of the greatest import, like you're saying, is this mid lane, right? The Batrider Storm Spirit matchup. As a mid player, what can we expect from this?
Definitely, I think this is the most important. As a Storm should be struggling early on due to a sticky napalm being so oppressive. On the other hand, though, getting magic stick charges as a Storm, you have great outlets for that mana pool to keep spell farming. So I think Batrider can maybe find a kill here if he, you know, plays the lane well enough and kind of backs it up on his side of the lane. You need to get back to your high ground, basically, if you're GPK in this lane. Then you have kill threat.
Bottom lane, some more pressure being applied towards Save, but Parker doesn't have a point into the Rocket Barrage, so there's no way he's going to approach next to an Axe to try and put out the damage there.
Level 2 timing is very big for either side here. Obviously getting the counter helix as well. Axe becomes much more oppressive in lane.
He just zoned out a little bit by these ice shots. Parker throws in the flat cannons, but he just wants the level 2. We'll achieve it now.
So far, GPK is doing absolutely amazing on the Batrider, by the way. He is expected to win this lane, but 10-5 against 4-0. This Batrider is really keeping the Storm pinned down.
And PP is not really able to approach at all. Look how far away he is. He's chewed through all of his regen, but top lane, we might need some regen here as well for Pure. He's taking quite a lot of harass. The Dive Hawk was out. Unfortunately for Edge, Michael doesn't have the range to close in with the Shadow Realm hit just yet. He's too far and too healthy, so the Nature's Prophet will live.
Yeah, he's gonna live, try and heal himself up a little bit, but they got the Hawk at least, so get some extra bounty and gold there. 30 gold for killing off the Hawk.
What's going to be the build for this Nature's Prophet? Has anything changed with the hero being reworked, or are we still going to have the same things we used to see from him prior?
I think the Mjolnir Rush is still very good. It might go Gyro if it's run down.
Main Parker gets saved a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Nero able to draw the first blood. Puppy unable to find revenge as Save just gets himself away from these ice shards.
Look at all those creeps low HP as well, right after losing all those creep wave getting denied.
You love to see it if you're a BetBoom fan right now. And unfortunately, they're also putting pressure up in the top lane. Look how low Vitaly is at the moment on his Beastmaster. And he's currently being out CS by the Nature's Prophet as well, which is something you don't always get to see.
Yeah, Beast is a hard hero to shut down in lane. And Kami sees a chance to go onto Willow, who has cooldown W.
He's gonna find him. They got him. Blood Grenade, a right click from the Sprout, and they do manage to get him down. Also, why the hell does Sprout do damage? I don't understand, but it does.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's irritated by that, but bro, this one hell of an ability right now. You get healing, you get damage on the enemy, hold him in place, click him down. So fantastic.
What's not fantastic is what's happening mid for PP. He is getting demolished, my friend. 18-9 on the Batrider, 11-0 on the Storm. He's gonna hit level 5 while the Storm is still level 4 right now.
Yeah, and the Batrider has achieved what it said he needed as well. Pull the lane back, get on your own high ground. So now, if Storm, we had him earlier. Storm Spirit steps up. He's gonna struggle to get back to safety.
Man, Vitaly is riding the edges here in this top lane. But he does now have this Helm of Iron Will, so becomes exponentially harder for BetBoom to realistically kill him. Should be able to maintain his presence in the lane, get to that level 6. That's the one bright spot, right? If you have a Beastmaster in the game, even if your mid lane is not going so well for PP, at some point you will have 6, and you can just show up to where the Beast is, pop roll, get a kill guaranteed, and that'll bring you back into the game as the Storm.
That's gonna be his way back into the game for sure. He needs to get 6 back to base and then TP out gank. That's pretty scripted. That's what most Storm Spirits eventually do anyway. But in this game more than any, you know, he has 0 denies to his name. He's getting almost doubled on last hits. It's a tough time.
Yeah. GPK, the scary part about this is we still actually haven't seen the Batrider get scary yet. Like, he's still in the early days. We're gonna get to those maxed out napalms with the awesomeness facet. Bottom lane, Poppy could be caught out here. Very nice dodge on the power shot, so looks like he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it was good reaction. Saw the power shots immediately. Quick dodge didn't get to safety. Still though, they're looking for whatever they can do to extend their advantage down bottom. With Vanguard now, Axe is starting to cut the creep waves, which is normally what we see. Does allow, of course, Jacob to farm quite safely too, but Axe can take advantage of this and go into jungle and farm extra camps.
Unfortunately, not too much that Puppy can do about this, but he's staying around in case a snowball is required. Might actually see him take a twin gate rotation here. He's heading over towards that area. They
It's
almost... Yeah, they actually have it. He's half HP on Pure. This is the time to get a kill.
It really is. See if Pure can read this gank. They don't have any vision, so we'll have to rely on his intuition. He's backing on the tower.
Unfortunately, they also don't have mana too much on Puppy. They do drop the Bramble Maze. Pure now finally revealed. Puppy throws in the Ice Shot. Not enough mana for the Snowball. Shackle Shot connects in onto Puppy with the Power Shot too. Pure is taking so long to die. Eventually, he does fall. However, revenge is quickly coming from the side of BetBoom. Batrider making his first rotation of the game. Looking towards Puppy. This is free eats. Getting some nice, very rare walrus meat into his mouth. BetBoom get a very nice rotation top of the bat.
He says it's a fruit bat, but really it eats walrus. Whatever you want. Meanwhile, Katomi takes the time to stay on mid and get some experience while Lasso is still available. So Batrider now going for this Wisdom Invasion play. 7 minutes coming up. Wants to get in position. Even has the Illusion Rune, so very hard to fight him.
He is scouted though, they know where he's at. There will be a Bramble Maze dropped around him. Michael is trying to hold him in position, and Vitaly and the crew are coming. GPK might not be worth the experience, my friend, but Pure is coming to assist him right now. Sprout and a power shot. Michael is gone. They threw the lasso out onto Vitaly as well, and with the Storm Spirit showing up, PP trying to turn the side around. Amazing shackle tool from GPK or from Save to hold him down, but it's not going to be enough. They end up losing Vitaly. GPK, by some miracle, is still alive, putting in the pressure onto PP. The Storm Spirit cannot escape this. He will end up dead. GPK gets a double, and they still get the Shrine of Wisdom. BetBoom Team wreaking havoc in the early game.
That is monumental for them. They also got the other Wisdom Rune. Meanwhile, with the Axe being completely safe, they didn't lose anything. Massive move, and there we see the power of that mobility. Nature's Prophet TPing over. But yeah, Batrider just standing his ground. Interestingly, going for this 0-point Firefly build. I wasn't sure about it at first, but that extra point in Flame Break is pretty nice. More damage, more ticks. You know, the extra burn tick benefits a lot from the sticky napalm.
I mean, this napalm as it stands right now, once he gets this D-Lance, I'm not sure if he's going to complete the full Witchblade that we sometimes see, but either way, he's going to start stacking up to the point where he doesn't even need Firefly. Just raw right clicks with the napalm will be enough. Here in the mid lane though, first freezing field of the game, Kataomi drops it onto Michael, who was trying to escape with the Shadow Realm. And that's one of those ultimates as Crystal Maiden that you're honestly begging for a chance to actually get the full channel on the spell. It rarely ever happens.
Yeah.
So he's just like, thank God, bro. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's nice. And that's one of the benefits. They picked the CM into the Willow. Willow relies a lot on being, you know, untargetable, but CM doesn't really care. You have Crystal Nova and Freezing Field, so still capable of slowing you and dealing a ton of damage. So Shadow Realm is not some guaranteed safety. Haste Rune on Batrider, by the way. That is a scary thing to see. They know about it, but while he's on the mid lane with a Haste Rune, means he can show up anywhere so quickly.
Yeah.
And already top tower is starting to be eyed up. Beastmaster nowhere in position to defend this.
Save will just throw in the focus fire. Make sure that they get the damage out. There's going to be the glyph popped by Edge. And they're sweeping over with on both supports here, thinking about mounting a defense. Kataomi, he finds the initial frostbite with the power shot too. They're running very low on this Dark Willow. She will drop a Bramble Maze behind her, but here comes GPK, hasted up on the Batrider, gets the lasso out onto Puppey. Now he does have Firefly, utilizes it to kill off Michael. Puppey trying to run, but he knows it's in vain. Pure able to bring him down with the Wrath of Nature. BetBoom getting 2 kills. Now thinking about stealing some stacks.
Man, the
On the bright
Beastmaster,
side, the tower is still alive though.
he was
That's
too
something.
experience away from level 6 there. With a Batrider diving his tier 2 tower, he would love to have Roar, but 2 experience points, man. He could not keep the Batrider in place, no way for him to punish. If he did have it, Storm could have TP'd over, quick kill on the Batrider, but every single deny matters, and we get to see it here.
What happened to Vitaly? Like, he was doing okay in the laning phase, CS and experience-wise, but these last 2 minutes, he's like made 0 progress on the top side of the map.
I think the rotation, when the moves started coming in towards top from both the supports of Dire, it became hard. And that first move by Batrider as well, TPing in punish. You know, he's probably sitting there saying mid difference right now as the Storm hasn't really made his presence known on the map. He's just been jungling. I said he needs to go for, you know, back to base, TP out, find a kill. He's now in the same position where he's looking for. He's pinging top. They want to get a kill somewhere with the Storm. Finally decides to TP mid. Don't think they can
Part of
kill
the problem, they
Batrider.
don't have any wards out, right? Like, they have 0 offensive vision. They will find Kataomi in the river. Crystal Maiden, unfortunately for them, gets saved by a Sprout, dropped by Pure. So now a fight might be going against the side of Edge. They need to get out of here. Dark Willow, she's inside the Shadow Realm. As she comes out, she's going to be in danger. She dies almost immediately. Vitaly does drop the Primal Roll onto Pure. And here comes Zippin from PP, looking to try and bring down Pure. Parker also made an appearance with the call down of the Gyrocopter. Unfortunately, Parker may die for this, as he's eating a focus fire right now. And he does end up losing his life. Double kill for GPK.
Wait, does he kill
However,
everyone?
now GPK is finding that he's somewhat alone here. However, all these heroes are so low on the HP that they're just getting ticked down by
He's just an
GPK.
asshole.
Look at the arsonist damage. Miro now finding a call out onto the 2. The snowball save will be there from Puppey for now, but he cannot save them from the dunk of Miro. That's 1 down. Miro wants a second. He will not get it because Puppey rather gets burned down by GPK. Wagamama, we are now seeing 11.5-minute rampage in a professional game of Dota 2.
Yeah, what did I say? Batrider mid is pretty good this patch. Seems pretty
It's
nice.
okay,
I mean,
it's okay.
all credit to GPK. He played his lane amazingly, chose the right times to join the side lanes and so on, but dear God, Batrider is so oppressive, man. Once he gets that 5th level and sticking napalm, look at the damage. He has 4,200 damage in an 11-minute fight. That's absurd.
Oh my God. Dude, he's 9-0-4, 12 minutes into the game.
This is his game, 100%. You can see the start there, what happened to begin with. Willow getting caught out, and then it was just a pick-off after pick-off. It was a nice attempt, though. Gyrocopter came in, suddenly had cooldown on Flat Cannon at first, so he couldn't really dish all the damage he wanted to.
Well, on the bright side, it shows that the proof of concept, we can kill Pure. GPK is another matter entirely, but, you know, one problem at a time.
Well, Nature's Prophet realizing this decides to just go and farm in the jungle. For now, as back in live, we have a catch on the Tusk in the jungle. Looks like he is going to be a victim of the dunk.
Well, that's the Blink Dagger reveal from Miro. The crazy part is he did not have the Blink in that last fight, and they still mopped it up like this. Also,
Yeah.
Miro, I like him. He's an honorable man. Left the rampage to GPK. In my pubs, my offlaner would have stolen it for sure, bro.
100%. I would have stolen that for sure. He's Axe, you know, you want to get those dunks. You want to get that armor, but nah. Maybe when you play with GPK, though, knowing his, let's say, mental state, it's not the player you want to steal a rampage from, you know? You don't want to have some issues happening.
You want those woohoos that we just saw from him directed towards the game and not looking at you and be like, ooh, bro, what the hell are you doing?
This is looking like a fantastic game for him already. Axe so massive. CNT is top to solo defense.
Okay, she will draw in Aurora as well from Vitaly, but she might not actually die for this. Why? They can't kill position 5s anymore. Kataomi still alive, eventually will fall, but the cost was going to be Vitaly's life, and with the call from Yero catching both him and Puppy, it's going to be a 2-for-1 special. Kataomi, God, man, that bonus armor from the freezing field just keeping him alive.
That was really good. Like a bait setup, right? He knew that he wasn't gonna die to one hero only. They would have to commit a bit more. And playing under the dire towers right now is just not the place for Edge. They're so weak. They need to make some 5-man ganks or something to turn this one around. And we've been talking a lot about how Batrider and, you know, Nature's Prophet doing really well, but this Miero Axe, he's enormous. It's another good call.
Speaking of him, he's already getting another dunk. Michael is down. PP trying to at least get revenge onto Save here. However, Pure's already TPing in. Save, he found the shackle shot. Pure coming in with the right-click damage, but Parker's made his place known as well. With a big cooldown, with the flat cannon going, trying to bring some of these heroes down. Miero is extremely low, will finally end up taking a tumble. However, the big shackle shot coming in, and the DPK damage make sure that they end up losing 2 on the back edge, and now Parker has no place to run. He ends up dying. Pure offensively TPing in towards Puppy. Won't be able to catch the Tusk, but now connecting potentially onto this Dark Willow. The Shadow Realm will be there. However, Puppy, as he tried to save there, might have put himself in mortal danger. The right clicks are coming. Michael cannot get out. Pure will get his due. He'll get his kill. And BetBoom will win the fight 4-1.
Another dominant fight by them. And one thing that really stands out to me, by the way, the entire fight, GPK had his ulti, but he has great self-control when it comes to when he wants to use that lasso. Because he realized, okay, Gyrocopter is not running away from me. I have the stick and napalm chasing him down. Like, there's no way for him to escape. There's no force staff and saving items yet. So he just held that instead of using it kind of needlessly to get a kill. I think most players would just have lassoed the enemy carry right there and say, okay, I got him, guys, let's kill him. But GPK has good understanding of what he needs to commit to win a fight.
The scary thing is it's gonna get worse. He's about to pick up the Aghanim shot, so...
Oh yeah, and he will start burning buildings then as well, not even just heroes. And of course it does give him the no stack limit, so you can do some fun stuff with that. Great against Roshan as well, just deal some heavy damage.
Well, somebody has to go scout where the enemy is. Today, that dubious honor goes towards Puppy, and he pays the price. Another kill going towards Miero on this axe. He is now
absolute beatdown.
19 coats of bloods. What?
Yes, 7.6 armor already, and keep in mind these 3 red reckless scale. Oh, a goal on carry.
This might be the big catch. They found Pure. He's all alone. He's away from the team. You were talking about this in the draft. The Storm can actually find and kill the Nature's Prophet, and he finally is able to make that happen.
That's massive. Really good for him. A little bit unfortunate. Willow was the one to get the kill, but that also does help her get towards her Yule Scepter, so might actually be nice in the end.
Miero, he went in onto Vitaly, but this could be a setup. Unfortunately, the shackle shot from Save was absolutely perfect. It stopped PP from putting in further pressure onto Miero. So they get the free kill onto Vitaly, and they should be able to get out. Oh, nice call from Miero, also preventing Michael from TPing out. Axe God in this game.
Yeah, he's just running the show now. I mean, we have multiple showmen, I guess, in this game. This Batrider is doing whatever he wants, but Miero is playing really well with his supports at this moment. Always running towards the enemy, staying aggressive. At the same time, we see Parker sometimes realizing that, you know, the safest space on the map might not be on my side of the map. Perhaps go and farm on the enemy side of it. Sitting around.
So what's the next step for Edge right now? What do they need to be doing to get themselves back into the game?
I think they need to play towards the first support items, which I guess the only way you get these items is by actually grouping and getting some kills. You need to really pair up and allow your supports to have a game.
Well, Vitaly is not having a game right now, as he's going to get his ass dunked on by Miero once again. Killing spree for the Axe. Casual 10 armor harvested at 17.5 minutes. Seems fair and balanced.
Yeah, he's getting to a real unkillable state. Unfortunately, they do have some big magic damage in the team, but they also have a fair bit of physical. The Gyrocopter Chrysalis build is not going to do a lot of damage into this. And it's time for Roche. They're calling that, you know, they want to build that advantage even more. They have great heroes to get an Aegis on. Get on Batrider and you can dive a bit more.
Well, On the
see.
bright side, this time that they're going to spend getting Roche will allow Parker to finish off having his Aghanim Scepter on the Gyrocopter. So we do have the key item for him. PP will just be able to finish off the Kaya as well.
40 stacks of stick napalm. We see the best Ursa impression going on here by Batrider as he beats down the Roche. Okay, get the DD room.
You know, I feel like they need to nerf sticky napalm, man. I need to buff it, sorry, need to buff it. Add some attack speed slow as well or something.
That's true. I was confused at first, by the way. I tested in demo mode, and it looks like sticky napalm double applies, but that's only when you do it to a dummy target. If you do it on enemy heroes, like it doesn't trigger twice on enemy heroes, but it does trigger twice on dummies for some reason. So, in case someone thinks there's a bug with sticky napalm, there actually isn't a bug with it. It's just a bit confusing.
Well, this seems bugged though. This looks bugged. I don't know about you, Ken. But if I'm watching a Batrider soloing a tier 2, 19 minutes in with just shot, that does seem a bit stupid.
Yeah, not even popping out the DP rune as well, realizing that, okay, this tower is just disappearing. Pretty sure, you know, Batrider, if he has someone to help tank the tower at least, he could just take down tower through the backdoor protection. Like, imagine with Lycan Wolves tanking the tower using the evasion. You could just solo a tier 2 tower through backdoor protection pretty early in the game, as long as the enemy don't want to fight you.
Oh, Edge still seem like fighting is anathema to them at the moment. Desperately waiting to they need 100 more gold, then they'll have the D-Lance and Ags on the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, they're close to a lot of items. The Glimmer Cake's super close as well, but Vitali not gonna have any fortune.
Very far from his team. He does have the Helm of the Overlord at least. The Bramble Maze does connect onto 2, however, it took them way too fast to kill him. So his team can't arrive in time.
I mean, you're pretty okay with that at least. When you're this far behind, if you get a kill, at least when you get ganked, you know, multiple heroes invested their time, you get a kill. Unfortunately, though, the rest of Edge were running towards that, hoping to turn it into a fight. Now we see them smoking towards mid instead, saying that, okay, mid-wave is going to push. Maybe someone will show up there.
Man, actually, Pure is there. Pure's going towards the rune.
Yeah.
Pure might actually get caught and killed. He does not have any defensive items here. Does have the Aegis, so he has 1 life. But they don't seem to want to commit on top of this Aegis, so they're going to let him go. It's actually unfortunate because they definitely could have killed him before the team arrived, but probably still the safe play given that they don't have aggressive wards on the other side to know where BB are.
Yeah, they just didn't see anyone, right? If they saw what we can see, which is, okay, Dire is pretty far away, nobody's TPing yet, then maybe they would have committed for it, but without information, such a hard thing to commit to that move. And meanwhile, we see BetBoom just go and take themselves Tormentor, get the shard for Wind Ranger. One of the better shards in the game, in my opinion, to get on supports early on. So good when you're ahead, at least, like this.
Yeah. I think it's a super solid shard, making the chase down potential even more oppressive than it already is. Now, with this Aegis into BetBoom looking like they want to pressure on the bottom side. The whole team is here. They even actually scan out onto Vitali, but they don't want to chase him. They're actually going to back off.
I think they're playing towards their own timings right now on BetBoom as well. They have Mapstall coming up soon for the Batrider. BKB is 1,000 gold away for the Axe, so I think they're playing a little bit safe. If they're going to take a fight, they might want to lead it when they just profit going in with Aegis. Be a bad target to go on. Both teams kind of slow down the game a little bit.
I will say, these kind of games where I think BetBoom look at their finest, when you have GPK just dominating in such a fashion that you sort of forget about Pure. So you're like, oh, by the way, we still have to deal with the most farmed hero on the map, this Nature's Prophet that has a Mjolnir, D-Lance, Manta Style, and with a alert Essence Ring. Oh, okay, so we don't have enough to worry about.
And now he's eyeing up that tower as well with the Aegis for 1 minute. They don't really want to go on him, so he can easily just lay into the tower. Once they see that no one's defending, they're just going to go up and help him in. This gives them, you know, much needed seconds to keep farming here. The Gyrocopter wants the Hurricane Pike so he can get himself to safety in these fights. A little bit disappointed he's not committing for like a higher damage build when he's this far behind. Sometimes Pike feels like it's just gonna end up being a loss anyway. You know what I mean? Like you don't have enough damage to burst people.
He won't have the damage to burst people. He won't have the BKB to get through this magic damage of the bat. I don't like it myself, but we'll see how it works out. As Pataomi gets zipped upon by PP, and they are able to get down the Crystal Maiden very quickly. Save. Drops a Shackle Shot onto the Storm Spirit, prevents the further dive. He's able to run away safely as well. So it's something, it's something. Might not be the most, you know, but it's still honest work for Edge.
It's a clean pick, and when you're 16,000 gold behind, even a support kill gives you so much gold. So they're happy with that, taking over the bottom area a little bit, and getting closer towards every single needed item. Looks like he's thinking about Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster over the BKB. He has both queued up right now, has enough gold for a Blink if he wants it, but seeing those heroes, if you don't have a BKB, you kind of just die, right? Like, Batrider will just make short work of you.
Some of those awkward games where if I get BKB, I still get called, like what Miero's doing to me right now. I probably still end up dead. But if I don't get BKB, they have Shackle Shots, they have Crystal Maidens, they've got this crazy Batrider.
Yeah,
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Like, it's too much lockdown. But considering mids, Batrider is too hard for 2 heroes to burst, though. If there were 3 of them, maybe they could have tried for him.
Radiant Scan
did
top
change
will
his
actually
mind, by the way.
connect.
I like what he did. Parker, instead of going for the Hurricane Pike, like I said, didn't really feel a fan of it. He goes for a Satanic instead. So more of a fighting item, and a great item to have against Axe to not die to the Blade Mail call immediately.
Also, do not be seen from BetBoom that their damage output tends to be quite sustained throughout the course of the fight. Having some sort of sustain for yourself is necessary in this game.
Yeah, and this opens up him going towards heavier damage items later, which he queues up a Rapier. So I think we see the game plan here, what Edge want to do. They realize they're really far out in this game. They're struggling. And if they can hit the timing of getting that Rapier timing, then it is possible for them to turn the game. Also cool, they disassembled the Crystallis to get this Satanic as soon as possible. He's going to repurchase the Crystallis now, but he wanted to have the safety first.
BetBoom are coming forward, trying to find somebody on the high ground here. They don't have wards inside the base just yet. They're going to skirt onto this river down bottom, but nobody is showing. Pure is, of course, bringing in the wave at the moment, destroying some of the Beastmaster's creeps. Bye-bye, Satyr.
Yeah,
thankfully, though, for Edge, they were safe enough.
Yeah, I think they're mostly herding safe into their base. You know, they're trying to force them away. I think BetBoom want to wait for the Roche. This is a good move coming up from Edge, so they put them back.
He doesn't have anybody nearby, and you're trying to finish off this Blink Dagger. You will not be able to. Ooh, nice pick off. 10 godlike streak ended. Look at the gold that Parker picked up with that.
2,000 gold for 1 kill. They had everybody there for it as well, which more heroes you have, the more gold you get for a kill. So making sure everybody gets a piece of the cake is really nice. That allows them to go out on a map as well. The Batrider dead for 30. Gives them a little bit of a timing to get into the Ancients area. Gyro trying to make the most of that. Got the kill on the Gyrocopter as well. That is exactly what they needed. Every bit of gold injection you can get to Parker right now. He is your win condition.
Am I crazy in thinking that once they get the BKBs on Storm and the Beastmaster, hopefully on the Gyrocopter as well, that at that point, a lot of this 15k gold lead maybe gets shaved in half?
It will kind of work that way, but there will be the worrisome part. The Nate's probably soon gonna get to a butterfly. You see supports getting run down. The drinking buddies actually run away from this. 2 drunks running for safety. Just hobbling away from this fight.
2 drunks running away from the bill. Like, we need to get out of here, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I think overall, if they can get to those safety items, it's going to be a very nice power fight for them. I respect that Vitaly went for the Blink Dagger over the BKB in this game on Beastmaster, recognizing that, you know what, the big way to turn the fight around, or the game around, is to find those Blink Roars, like they did onto the Batrider down there. But the concerning part is, there's already Eagle Song and Pure closing in, just 1 item away now, once it picks up the Evasion or the Claymore.
Not good news if you're a Beastmaster that has went for the Overlord build. But his team is going to smoke right now. They're going to angle towards where Parker is at. And as they sweep here, Miero and Kataomi are right ahead of them. What they don't know, though, is that so are Save and GPK. This is a very dangerous place to be right now for Edge.
Good power spike to play into, though. He can buy the Daedalus, and he does do that. So Gyrocopter, quite ready to take a fight. I'm sure he wants to go now. Joining the smoke.
Unfortunately, I think the power shot from Save just clipped him before he got smoked. So they know that a smoke is coming towards them. So that's why BetBoom themselves also smoke up to try go for the wraparound.
Yeah, they're looking for anyone they can find, but in the end, they're going to just play down instead. And they're going for the Wisdom play. BetBoom with a good read saying, you know what, 15 seconds for Wisdom. Someone's going to go there for sure. When you're this far behind, you will get experience. And Willow, she's about to walk into Vision.
Oh, no. I think the courier sold her out as well. But, oh, they went right past her.
Wow, they
That's
don't want her. They want more.
Yeah. Vitaly, he's getting away in the trees. Puppy's going to be the one that gets scouted. GPK, all right, he lassos Puppy. Does get rolled for his efforts, but they'll happily let this one go. Unfortunately, this is the bigger prize. PP caught by Miro and the gang. This axe just wreaking havoc upon Edge at the moment. Puppy doing his best to try and TP out, but he cannot do it. However, while this is happening,
Pure all alone
gets killed off. How did that happen?
He just TP'd into 3. He didn't expect there to be a gyrocopter as well, I guess, but he did have a ward that got dewarded right before. I think a little bit of miscommunication perhaps as the Batrider was busy chasing after a Tusk, didn't want to go on the same target. And that does slow down their ability to take Roche, but doesn't take away the ability as Batrider says, watch this, gonna build up some stacks on this poor Roche. Oh, he dispels with a roar. That's nice for Roche. He got a counter move. Now he just needs to wait 60 seconds to do it again, sadly.
You know, looking at how much longer the Roshan takes without having Pure around, makes you really think, man, if only PP didn't die in that last fight. Imagine his influence in this area right now, how long this is taking.
Yeah. With the regen rune as well, could have been a thing that he could have gone his hands on, would be nice for him. Obviously Storm, big fan of the green rune. So Aegis on the Batrider. At least, I guess it's not in the hands of Nature's Prophet, but is it really better for them that Batrider got it? Because he's also a devastating tower pusher with his building damage. Oh wow, more chop shop going on. Yeah, the observer pointing out as we have a disassemble on the Daedalus to turn it into an MKB to deal with the evasion from the butterfly that's just about to be completed.
How can you not enjoy watching Parker play Dota?
Yeah,
No.
he's a
It's so
creative
much
man.
fun.
And this is only like gyrocopter shenanigans, right? Normal heroes can do all these crazy disassembles, but Chop Chop is one of those innates that a lot of people look at like, isn't that useless? But it's really as good as you make it to be. If you find the creative moves like this, then it can be really nice.
Well, once he finishes off the Daedalus once more, he'll angle back in for that Hurricane Pike. However, he might not have the time to finish it because Pure just finished the Butterfly. They have still this Aegis on the Batrider. We almost have at least a Sanj on the Axe, so could see them start to apply some pressure on the map right now. I don't think they just want to sit back and let Edge come back into the game farm-wise.
Yeah, he's going for the Kaya Sanj build. It's a build that really helps your mana pool, but also increases that dunk damage, your spin damage. All your damage really is benefited greatly from this. And this is in favor of the Octarine Refresher build that we've seen.
Oh, GPK getting gone on. There's going to be the Gale Force, but they want to try and bring down the Aegis first. GPK running low, he will die. However, Miro got the call onto Vitaly on the back edge. Not soon enough to save the life of GPK. Shackle shot was there. Vitaly caught in with TP. What a long duration on the Shackle from Save. Enables them to find the kill on Vitaly, and there is no buyback available for the Beastmaster.
That's rough. Even if you glyph, he's going to keep building those stick and napalm stacks as well. Tower is just falling so rapidly.
But here they come. They don't have an Aegis on Pure, remember, so they might try to kill off this Nature's Prophet. The Force Buffs are there to get him to safety. PP getting lassoed in by GPK, and he's gonna die. With buyback available, he could try and deploy it. Let's see what BetBoom Team decide to do. Pure goes home to just replenish his health, but he'll TP right back in. Whilst GPK is on the front lines, beating into the melee barracks.
They're sacrificing the Rax. They don't want to buy back the Storm. But this is not going to be the end. The push is going to continue, I think. 35 seconds on Storm. And if he's not pulling the trigger on the buyback, they're just going to eye up the next lane.
Yeah. Brambles out onto Pure right now. The right clicks are there. They drop the fortification. And they really do not want to buy back on the Storm. But BetBoom being disciplined. They see that the timer is a bit too low. No reason to take any big risks. We've already lost our Aegis. We've gotten enough. Let's just get out safely.
Yeah, they also have cooldowns. Beastmaster respawning with his ulti available. Lasso is on cooldown. It's a smarter play to just back up and spend your money. They just made a decent chunk of gold by taking out the mid lane. The Gyrocopter again has the Daedalus, so his damage is decent, but we see that last fight, the save from just Hurricane piking to safety, Glimmer Kid coming out from the CM, he struggled to keep dealing damage to Nature's Prophet. So they really need to get in there with some dusts, and unfortunately for them, they don't have a great nullifier purchase hero. So those save items are going to be massive this game, especially 4-stack.
One thing as well is that fight is going to be very different the next time, because now Vitaly has BKB. That fight went to hell because him and the Storm Spirit both got shackled almost immediately. If he's able to actually move around in the fight, present a different target, allow the Storm Spirit to actually be more active, things can look very different, you know. If only he had it before they lost the lane of Rax, but they'll take what they can get right now.
Yeah, the potential is there. They have good bursts. The only problem is, you know, getting a hold of people and not letting them slip away like what we saw there. Unfortunately, losing a lane of Rax is not the worst when you have Gyrocopter and Storm. These heroes are amazing at pushing out lanes, in particular Gyrocopter. But the push is coming down bottom already. This could look to turn into something more.
Nature's Prophet was eventually forced to actually level up his Nature's Call. He didn't want to have to do it, but his other stats to put up.
Yeah.
They're going on to GPK. They find him with the leash. There's going to be a very nice terrorize. Unfortunately, it's on the wrong side, and the Glimmer Cape also keeps him alive. Pure now posting up. Just taking out this Ancient Prowler. Not going to go all the way for it. They'll just happily poke and prod at these racks while they're here. GPK and the gang, they have the racks. The question is, can they get out? Poppy, very nice ice shards. It's onto GPK, however, so he'll just firefly himself to safety. There's a call, Mero getting in onto the Gyrocopter. Immediate finish for Poppy, going back in onto the axe. Where is the follow-up? Parker, isolated right now, activates the Satanic. He has been hit with the lasso though, and he's losing so much HP from the right clicks of Pure. He's gonna end up dead. Double kill for the Nature's Prophet. And there's no buyback available for the Gyro. There's no racks down bottom. And Wildcard, I don't think there's a game anymore. BetBoom Team looking slated to secure game 1. Well, well, well. 2 Rain of Racks. It's Rapier time, isn't it? Man. Poor Gyrocopter. Things though could be worse. They didn't get completely megaed in that situation. They don't find themselves completely overwhelmed, so they can still play things out once they get that rapier as well. Task right now. Lotus Orb complete for Puppy. He's in the situation that he can apply some additional save for the moment.
Hello. I believe my system gave me a little boot there. Should be back.
Hey,
Not sure what happened, but it looks like we still have BetBoom in a strong lead.
Okay. Is there any hope of them actually stopping this push? Like, and if so, what's the route of attack that they need to go for here?
I think they have to somehow get the Batrider. Like, he feels like the strongest threat, but he's so tanky with this Ultra, so I don't really know how they should pull it together. Like, maybe you need to use Storm's mana, get out, get back, get some Fountain Heal, and hope that you can like bring them low in 2 waves. There's also an option that they just sack the lane and say, you know what, play against Megas, but they're gonna go up and look to get behind. Big wraparound. Could find Axe here.
DB. And then the Dark Willow, they get their smokes broken by the Axe, and Axe jumps in immediately onto the Dark Willow. She is ducked down. Michael, no buyback available. In the meantime, the Batrider with the amplified damage was finishing off the top lane of Rax. It's now 4 Megas that Edge has to deal with, and the rest of BetBoom are still in the base. They have no intention of leaving right now. They want to end the game.
Yeah, going for more. Just letting Nature's Prophet push, the safest way to do it, sitting behind him. It's a hard question to answer as well. What do you do about this?
Oh, what you do is you get caught by Miro. Snowball save will be there from Puppy, but he brings them right to where the Backrider is. Backrider though gets immediately Primal Road by Vitali. Can they bring down GPK? No, the saving force stars keep him alive for now. In the meantime, Parker getting eviscerated by Miro and save. He goes down without buyback. A dunk onto PP to make sure he suffers the same fate. Vitali, at the very least, able to blink back into the base, but nobody else can do so. Miro kills off the last one of Puppy. GG is cold.
This was the last hero to glue this all together. So I'm going to be a non-believer. I'm going to be on BetBoom for this. Their draft looks very easy to execute. And you know me, man. I love easy to execute, simple drafts, because that's what ends up working really well.
Well, Parker is playing his signature TA. Well, there's a lot of signature heroes, but this is very high up there. He won a tournament on this hero, so his team is looking at him like, carry us to victory, brother. Do the right thing.
His lane will be probably the most important. I normally say mid, you know, as a biased mid player, I normally say mid is the most important lane. I think this time it's not true. I think TA needs to have a good time against the Axe. And like I said, volatile matchup. Axe can get bullied by the melt strikes repeatedly coming in.
Late smoke from Edge. Doesn't seem like they have that much appetite for wandering too far away on the map. Just want to make sure that they secure this bounty, get a bit of vision. Now, even later smoke coming in from BetBoom Team, but I think they're going to achieve a similar objective here.
Yeah, you see all the players kind of gravitating towards those high grounds and ramps. As long as you stand on a high ground and ramp, you cover that the enemy are not making an invasive move. Of course, we know both teams are playing pretty chill. We just Parker moving up. He's going to break his smoke, but by doing it so aggressively, he kind of claims this room. You know, just running up saying, okay, it's mine. In the end, 2 for 2. So, fair start. We want a clean fight, an even fight.
Nothing below the belt.
Yeah.
No eye gouges, nothing like this.
Exactly. Tuck your thumbs in.
Do you watch any combat sports at any chance?
Oh yeah, I used to love watching UFC. Used to watch a lot. I actually practiced at UFC, or not UFC, MMA. My brother is a MMA instructor, so yeah, I love that. It's fun.
Nice.
It's also a good way to get outlets, you know. When you play Dota, yeah, you gotta have an outlet for your rage at some point, you know.
You know, back when I used to train, actually, now that you mention it, the training sessions after a rough day of Dota were always the most exhilarating, the most rewarding.
For sure. Oh wow, I'm looking at the mid lane closely, and beautiful first pre-play by GPK. Just absolutely stellar stuff. 4 and 3, and tons of harassment to the Magnus. This lane already almost unplayable. Like, he almost won the lane already. It's basically over.
Yep. How is PP supposed to approach this here? He's already chewed through so much regen, and he's very far away from having the bottle as well. So it's going to be a very tough time for PP in this mid. And GPK looking set to have another banger performance from this lane.
Yeah. This is also where PP's starting build has me wondering a little bit. He went triple branches plus Quelling Blade and Tangos. That's a really expensive starting build that takes longer to get your bottle. So we'll see if that's going to cost him. That's another really crisp and nice 7 and 5. Just doing great so far. On the side lanes, we have a bit of trading as well, but the level 2 power spikes haven't really kicked in yet.
How things looking down bottom. Michael's gonna get himself caught in by a small sprout, but that's just to prevent him from dragging the wave away, allowing Pure to mute back. So Pure's happy, he's chilling, just playing Sven. You know, last game he pretty much got to be ignored half the time. I doubt it's gonna happen this time around. Sven does command a bit more attention, but he's having a good time so far.
Yeah, he's off to a nice start, and this is what Sven really wants. If he gets off to at least like level 4, level 5 maybe, without getting pressured too much, then he can start popping into jungle with power treads and just cleave through the jungle so rapidly. At the same time, the Clockwork trying to pull creeps and set up the lane to be decent for Vitality to get some farm.
Other side of the map, mid, GPK made the aggressive play towards PP and almost died for it, but does have the bottle, will sip it up. Should be able to get himself back into a decent position.
And we're 230, 240 now, and the Magnus does not have bottles, so couldn't get a refill on either of these runes. Now Nature's Prophet threatening to come in. Even if he doesn't, this just puts that thought in Magnus's head, like, okay, gotta be worried about that too.
Yeah. Finally, he has enough gold to purchase the blink. We'll see if he ferries it over immediately, or if he wants to wait a little bit.
The bottle.
And there we go. He buys it. It's coming over.
Sickest timing, the 3 minutes.
Oh, did I say blink? My bad, my bad.
Yeah, no worries. we see a Queen of Pain, you know, it's the easy slip. Think about the blinks. And he's doing what you talked about as well, doing the no blink build early on just to be as strong as possible to oppress the lane. So only using the level 2 Shadow Strike and the Screaming Pain for now, holding a skill point ready to get blink if needed.
Down bottom, Kataomi inside some power cogs right now. Michael looking for this kill. Nice little movement through the creeps to burst out the battery assault, but eventually they do find the kill. Top lane, they're looking towards Parker as well. They want to get the Templar Assassin called in by Nero. The spins are going to be there. Parker not dead just yet. Michael comes in fresh off of getting the first blood, gets the 2 hero power cards, setting them up to get brought down, but they need more damage. Parker can't get close enough for fear of dying, but at the very least they do pick up save, and Parker stays alive.
Parker's gonna be completely fine, but Miero also not doing too poorly in this lane. Getting a lot of CS as mid lane. We see him just barely getting away to safety on PP. He's gonna have to run back to base though. That was again water rune denied, so the rune control. I said we need to see it coming out from edge, but instead it's gonna be BetBoom who say, you know what, let's just really not let PP have a game.
Damn, poor PP. Level 4 on the Magnus, 11 CS to his name.
Versus the 25
you might need to take out a home loan, brother.
He's got more denies than Magnus has total denies and last hits right now. That is just very tough times.
Top lane, they did bring 3 heroes here for Edge, but unfortunately they couldn't find anybody. So it's a lot of time being wasted by these supports, and a lot of experience being sheared away from Parker as well.
Yeah, this is pretty rough for Vitaly down bottom. Meanwhile, can't easily step up and get from farm. He has nice last hits for now though. As we take a look at mid lane and see the 3-point Shadow Strike. So this is very personal, you know? This is when GPK says it is just about shutting you down. Normally we see Queens sometimes skip the Shadow Strike altogether to just get the early blink and scream maxed out so you can farm really nicely. But this is not about that. He wants to keep Magnus irrelevant in this game.
I wonder what happened at breakfast between these two. It's only a game, GPK. It's not that deep, bro.
And now with level 6, you know, Shadow Strike doing the burn damage, but then he has ulti ready.
He does, but PP, ooh, does he get a counter kill? GPK, no, 9 HP. But the Queen of Pain will live. They're coming in with Puppy. He was hoping to throw in some demonic poison in, almost connected onto the Queen of Pain, but she's going to be fine. Magnus dead. It cost them Kataomi on the other side of the map, but that's a trade they'll take.
At least the rune spawn top, so Shadow Demon gonna deny that rune away from the Queen of Pain. You know, something going their way on mid lane. Unfortunately, Magnus gonna have to TP back mid.
Yeah. GPK, level 6, while this Magnus is still level 5 right now. Doesn't even have boots to his name. Game is so hard.
Just gloves. He knows he needs to farm to get back into this game, but with the maxed up Shockwave, not maxing the W, even going jungle is not gonna be that rapid at this stage. 7 minutes is creeping up on us, and I don't really see Radiant invading. They could TP over the Nature's Prophet, but if you TP into a clock, it's gonna be, you know, certain death too.
I mean, look, this mid lane is a disaster, yes, but the overall game state is not as bad as it could have been, right? At this point in game 1, Bat Rider was already starting to make big invasions with the expectation of getting kills, and he got them very easily. But I don't think that as well as he's doing in the mid lane, that GPK feels quite so confident at this stage, moving around with the Quap, given how much more fragile she is than the Bat Rider.
Yeah, it's at least more of a slumbering period. He wants his Dagon. That's going to be when the Queen of Pain starts really eyeing up those side lanes and looking for, you know, more snacks than just the Magnus. He already has the Voodoo Mask ready, so a little bit of spell lifesteal to offset that Masochist. I think this is a mandatory build if you play Queen in current patch. With Masochist, you just have to get the Dagon, so very unsurprising to see this. TA.
You see now, there's going to be a banishment onto save, but the Kataomi comes in as well. They want to try and get something here. Nero, able to find a perfect call. He's inside some power cards, and Michael is beating him down with the help of Parker. Poppy is still alive, and eventually they end up killing off Nero. Now dragged back with the Shockwave. PP wants the first RP of this game. Won't even bother for it because they already have the free kill on the save, and perhaps Kataomi. However, Michael doesn't want to chase too deep for this one. 2-for-1 exchange. GPK though comes in. Again, he wants to put the screws onto PP and he'll succeed in doing so. The Magnus ends up going down. It's 2 for 2, but GPK is the big winner of all of it.
Yeah, GPK is going to be very happy with another solo kill. heading back. The rune is actually spawning opposite side again, so GPK with a bit of misfortune so far this game, as Puppey should be able to deny this one, or even pick it up himself. Queen Blink. That's the downside, right? You have only one level Blink because of this hard commitment into the Shadow Strike. Probably wouldn't have got it anyway, and he's gotten value from the Shadow Strike.
Yeah, for sure. Well, on the bright side, PP did not commit the RP before he went down, so they still have that available if they want to make a move somewhere else on the map.
Yeah, and he can start popping into jungle and farm like decently now. He has the power treads coming out, so you know, we've been pretty doom and gloom about his state, and he is definitely the core who's struggling the most in this game right now. But he's not super far behind to the point he can't do anything. Mag can always farm jungle.
Also, unlike the previous game, Edge still has a lot of real estate to play with. Their towers are still up, their map advantage is still looking solid, they got their shrines. And Vitaly is having a much better experience, much better go of things as the laning phase breaks down.
Yeah.
Jess wants to finish off his Spirit Vessel, and then him and Michael will probably start making plays on the map.
They are starting to open up that tower as well. You see Axe popping into farm some ancient camps, but meanwhile that bottom lane being pressured by the two supports and the Pango, and no reaction to it right now. BetBoom's attention is elsewhere, farming their stacks. Axe dangerously low. He's gonna die here. He did not expect the Petrify to be off cooldown.
Somebody needs to send him a tip ASAP. Down bottom, they're coming in, they want Vitaly. Save. Gets him with the Hex, with the Shackle. Pure even pops the God Strength for this one. Vitaly, though, still alive for now. Gets off the Rolling Thunder, and he's good. A lot of times wasted. In fact, he's not just good, he's turning around because Michael has shown up for this fight as well. The Rolling Thunder doing quite a bit, but he doesn't want to overcommit for this one. They will just thank their lucky stars that the Pango is still alive, and Edge will get out to safety.
Sven ended up holding his stun just a little bit too long, allowing the shield crash to come in there, giving him all the extra shielding from 3 heroes being nearby. So Vitaly happy to get to safety. He's going for this Vessel build that we've seen more and more of lately ever since the Vessel was changed to be more stats. Core heroes are looking at it like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm a universal hero, get a lot of damage from it.
Bye-bye, Kataomi. Michael finds him in the trees, kills him off with the battery assault. Do you think, actually speaking of the Vessel, is he gonna follow that up with the Crimson God? I've seen quite a few Pangos do that lately as well.
It could be. Oh, we have a goal on the Magnus again.
Caught again, GPK is here, Sonic Wave is up, but the save from Puppey bails him out of trouble, and now GPK is the one that's in trouble. PP happy to drop the first RP of the game right on top of his head, and Save can do nothing but join his compatriot in the grave. Beautiful response by Edge. Puppey showing why we put such value in the Shadow Demon in that one moment right there.
Yeah, both the supports showing their value here. Recently we saw the Clockwork 1v1 and kill the Nature's Prophet, and then good reaction here with the save coming in. And Queen ulti on cooldown also hurts him quite a bit.
You know, whenever I cross with Lizard and he sees Queen of Pain, he always has a glimmer of hate in his eyes because he's just like, this is one of those heroes that the game can be going perfectly for you, then you die twice and the game just ends. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's sort of what all Queen players kind of know as well. And we see GPK with the Region Rune diving in for Puppey.
I don't know about this one, gang. It's going really far for this kill. Parker now shows up as well. If Parker was there just a moment sooner, might have been able to get the kill, but instead he shows up to find the deny. Wastes GPK's time here in this mid lane.
Yeah, wastes his time a little bit, but it does mean that he left the top lane. So Parker now sitting on mid. This gives Niero more time to work towards his Blink Dagger up top on the Axe.
They might fight for this Arcane Rune. GPK comes to steal it away from PP. Couple of spells, he's right down to half HP, but now Michael, long range hookshot onto save. With a few Melt Strike hits from Parker, they are able to find the kill. Michael, though, in danger because he did eat a blood grenade to the face. But with Puppey being nearby, they should be able to secure his life, even through the Shadow Strike. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, disruption as well, just keeping him alive. He has Tranquil Boots, so he can heal up quite quickly. Might actually just think about going base, though, when he's this low. He'll stick around. Doesn't want to give up too much control. But this is a lot of time that Niero has just been doing whatever he wants, and with a chipped vest Axe with Vanguard, farming fast, looking at the tower as well.
To be fair though, the person that left that lane vacated, Parker, is still by quite some margin the net worth leader in the game.
Yeah.
Farming some ancient stacks right now, has the Desolator flying out as we speak. So this TA is so far making really good advantage of the space being afforded.
Yeah, he's enormous at this stage. He's really, really farmed. And I think maybe a good call to go towards mid. We talked about the importance of trying to get a game on your mid player and shut down GPK a bit. So making rotations towards mid, getting it denied, you know, forcing, you know, some extra pressure onto rune control as well is always a good idea against Queen, to try and not give her free reign over those power runes, because that's when she takes off.
Parker with the Deso, Spark of Courage. Doesn't really want to be involved in the game just yet. Now we'll see if he's going to go straight to Hurricane Pike or stop over for the Blink. It's going to be the Blink Dagger. So the age-old build for this Templar Assassin. The old ways have not abandoned us.
Yeah, this is the old bread and butter from Dota 1 days, the Blink and Deso. Only modification is the Dragonlance, of course. Too good to pass up. Get that bit of extra range. 14 minutes.
Smoke up right now, BetBoom, because they have Blink Dagger on Miro. I think they want to do something with it.
GPK gonna curse that the rune spawns bottom again. Block is gonna be happy though.
Also, unfortunately, Save did go for a regular mass up wards. No Giga Ward this game.
Yeah, not going for the big ward. I'm disappointed. I think the thing is that Shadow Shaman without the ability to hex on auto attack is so much weaker in lane that pro players, you know, a lot of times value early game more so than anything else. If you get off to a good first 10 minutes of the game, it doesn't really matter what power you're missing out on that you could have had later, where obviously the big snake is a lot nicer for pushing base, you know, refresher, etc. But it's all about getting off to a good start.
Edge are trying to get off to a good reveal of this Blink Dagger on the Magnus. Unfortunately, the same issue that plagued them in game 1 plagued them here, the lack of vision. However, like you said, they have the kind of supports that can help them gain that. The Rocket Flare scouted out the GPK Queen, forces him to blink back, and that'll secure the space for Parker to take the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they can also invade here and try and play some deep vision. They got the ward. Oh, actually pull it.
RP, they got it. They get the connection. Do they have the right-click damage? Of course they do. PP able to get that kill. I really want to see his face after securing the kill on the Queen of Pain. He must be elated after what was happening in the early game.
After that start, getting something going for you feels really, really nice. It was 5 years invested though. Meanwhile, the sides of the map being farmed a lot by Radiant, so they have to pick up the pace even more so on the side here of Edge, but that is a monumental pickoff.
They're actually coming bottom through the Twin Gate. They have Axe with the Blink Dagger. Want to try and jump on somebody here. Vitaly will be the one that gets shown, but Puppey is here, immediately in with the disruption. Vitaly, can he get off the Rolling Thunder? There's the shield crash, followed by the Storm Hammer. He's still alive though, inside the wall trap. They want to find this kill. He's just not dying, and finally he does end up taking a tumble. Edge were unable to respond in time. Parker wasn't here, and now Miro, feeling emboldened, wants to go further for the chase. They catch up to Puppey. They are going to be able to kill him, but with the drag back onto PP, maybe Miro should die for this one as well. Parker, battery assault onto Kataomi. This Nature's Prophet can't do anything. Puppey, by some miracle, is still alive, putting poison onto Pure, and now Pure ends up dead. Very big kill there. Blink away from the TA before she can end up dying to the axe, as the rest of BetBoom Team at the very least claim the life of Michael. So it's a 4-for-1.
Yeah.
Very close for Edge to get a bit more.
I'm not going to go up that high ground as well, respecting that going into TA trapped area could be dangerous, but what a beat down there. Unfortunate for them on the side of Dire that they didn't have the hookshot ready. They used the hookshot to get the pick off on Queen mid, and then he could have stopped the Shackle coming out bottom when they changed on the Pangolier, but he didn't have the hookshot, just like 10 seconds cooldown. As the Pango was being held in place, you can see right here when the Rasta comes in and disables. Here, Clockwork is in position, but he couldn't do anything to stop it. And then they all just too far out. And Axe, you know, turns one into more, and the Skewer, honestly optimistic, I think, pulling the Axe back. You don't really have the damage. TA isn't there.
They really did do their best. Parker was eventually able to show up. And we did get to see what can happen if Parker does have a little bit of time to throw out right clicks, but not enough time. If he was there slightly sooner, if Vitaly survived slightly longer, many things could have happened. But Dota's a game of margins, and this margin favorable for BetBoom Team.
Definitely. I think right now at this stage of the game, TA is like posting about 30 or maybe 40% of her team's damage. Like, she's such a big chunk of their damage output in team fights. So if she isn't there, yeah, you have all these control spells. That's nice, but you don't really have a way of finishing off heroes.
Can we actually see that stat, like damage stats done so far in this game? Well, maybe after Nature's Prophet dies, because they really want this kill. And they should be able to get him. Kataomi will endure a roll right now from Vitaly, and with Parker closing the gap, that is a dead Nature's Prophet. Nice and clean.
Quick takedown right next to the tower as well, so they're gonna get the tier 1 tower. Edge playing a lot better than what we saw in game number 1 as well. A lot on the back of this, cohesion that we see. They're running more together and making moves. Sure, you're committing a lot of heroes, but they're also finding kills for it, so it's really worth it.
Okay, so it's coming from Vitaly. Actually, some of the least damage that we're getting from the Queen of Pain right now, or the TA, excuse me.
Yeah, I meant more like the potential damage outputs. The damage done so far, of course, is going to be pretty low since he's mostly been farming, but in a team fight, I think he reps a lot of their potential. Oh, they smoke right under a ward. This has been spotted.
Yeah. They know this is coming. They vacate the pit for now. They know what's happening. BetBoom will have the smoke popped onto GPK. And look at people hiding with the Melt Strike. They're going in onto GPK. GPK is gone. No buyback for the Queen of Pain. They also committed the Mass Serpent Wards and the Wrath of Nature. How can they do for the rest of the fight? Say he's able to get the shackles out onto the TA, but it won't matter. And here comes PP, finding a huge RP on the 2. Both of them gone in the blink of an eye. Pure was hoping that he could come in and clean somebody off on the back edge. Instead, he just finds himself dying immediately. And his death will precipitate a Roshan going towards edge. This game firmly in control of the Dire side at the moment.
Oh, they're even looking for more. They might catch this Nature's Prophet. He has the skill. Oh, he doesn't have skill. But they do have his scepter, though.
Yeah, Michael finished the Yules. Parker now on a killing spree. Bro, man, this is a TA now with Shard as well.
That fight we saw, he had Shard on TA, and they had great positioning. Multiple traps down. You can see them. Because of the vision from the mid-ward, they took high ground, and Queen is completely unsuspecting of what would happen there. She didn't think anyone would be in that location on the high ground that they basically should be owning. So the mid-ward revealing the smoke gang completely set them up to take an amazing fight. And what we talked about in game 1, then it was BetBoom who had the vision advantage, but now playing pretty blindly going in here, not knowing what dangers lurk.
TA traps, demonic poisons, and speaking of Clockwork, also throwing out the rocket flares, he's also able to throw out these hook shots, set up Save for a kill. And you know, with the amount of abuse that Save was putting onto the supports in game 1, this must also feel very satisfying for the support to set up his kills.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And now, getting picked off right outside the enemy tier 2 means Parker's just gonna easily take down the tier 2 tower. Getting a lot of stuff done, and there's a timer for BetBoom. They basically need to get this BKB completed on Sven as soon as possible so he can take the fights. Like, you can say, oh, they have hookshot and they have max RP. Sure, they have some BKB piercing stuff. But if you don't have a BKB on Sven, you just get randomly disrupted or pushed around by Clockwork. Like, you cannot fight without it here.
But worst case scenario, what ended up happening to the co-op, right? If Sven is also one of those carry heroes that need spells, and speaking of Sven, in the top lane he's been caught. Pure doesn't have a BKB, doesn't have any allies nearby him. Here comes GPK, big sonic wave, but it's not gonna be enough because Poppy blinks past it, gets out the disruption onto Pure, and this Sven is going to die. Parker gets the credit for the kill as well.
Yeah,
Edge just playing the entire map expertly right now.
They did see Vitaly TPing out, and it was a really slow TP. So Axe set up a catch onto the Pangolier, but they just didn't have the damage to bring him down. Unfortunately, didn't have a way to punish the fact that they catch him right outside their tier 2. And Edge playing with urgency right now. I love to see that they're immediately stretching to get right on the enemy team's base. Like, look at Parker's positioning. He knows he has Aegis. He wants to take away all this safe farming grounds from his enemies.
Look how farmed he is. Blink, 20 Deso charges, a D-Lance Daedalus. Holy based.
I mean, he's 7k ahead of the most farmed BetBoom player. It is absurd lead right now.
Well, on the bright side, that does mean that most of this lead is sitting on him, so if BetBoom kill him, then the fight is even.
Yeah. They just need to achieve that little thing. So I think for now, with the Aegis for 2 minutes, they need to basically just tide it out. I am curious to see if they want to force people home, go high ground, try and extend on their lead, or if Edge are going to back and play it safe. Looks like they want to go for the mid-tier 2 tower instead, get all the outer buildings.
What's going to stop them? Parker doesn't even have to wait for the creep wave to arrive. Just starts beating into it as it stands. They did use the Wrath of Nature to clear out most of this creep wave. However, they also now get vision onto Pure. Sven was trying to farm the enemy triangle. Well, they probably wish he was farming somewhere else, as he will end up losing his life. Vitaly brings him down with the swashbuckle. And they also caught Save. He was coming, hoping to try and save his compatriot. Instead, just ends up giving a kill to Michael.
They're finding these pickoffs while they're going for tower as well. Everything just coming up their way. And timings. It feels like BetBoom are just trying to hold down the fort right now. They're building items. They want the BKB on Axe. They want the BKB on Sven. Queen of Pain's working towards the Kaya and Sanj. And without these item timings, I think taking a fight feels impossible. I do like the decision that he went for Gold Scepter on Queen, so he has some way of surviving if TA punishes with a quick blink.
Well, TA has access to a full Hurricane Pike now. And she's going to get a bit more gold because Michael has dutifully set up a kill onto Miro potentially here. There's the silence from the TA trap. Nice little blink away.
Oh, the
will still end up dead because he got betrayed by the creeps. This always happens, man. These goddamn new ancients always trying to make sure that nobody can shine.
They could have stunned the TA, but they were like, nah, you know what? You're the one we should stun. We're gonna stun the poor guy who's trying to TP out 1v3. These creeps, man. The jungle bites back.
Edge bites back as well because they are shaving through BetBoom Team. It's 11k gold lead. Perhaps not as stark as it was in game one, but the recovery options feel a little bit more difficult, right? Because in game one, you could sort of see what needed to happen, even if it didn't happen in time. But here, what on earth do they do? As we have now another hook shot, they get forward onto Save. He at the very least draws away an ultimate. Now we see GPK hoping to try and find some revenge on the back edge. Instead, he just finds a rolling thunder into the face. Vitaly might have stuck around too long. He gets silenced himself right now. He can't get out. All right, I think you need to tip him for that one because he could have gotten out perfectly scot-free.
Yeah, definitely. He overestimated his team's potential there. The rest of them wanted to get out after, you know, the fight started out dragging a little bit too long.
But it's all good, gang. We're going to get the enemy offlaner now as well. Hashtag calculated. I was just lulling them into a false sense of security, bro. That's what the play was about.
Yeah. I love this observer ward, by the way, from Dyer. Do you see the puppy ward? It is some of the least vision. If you click it and see, it's the least vision I've seen a ward give, I think, ever. Have you seen a ward that sees less than that?
I don't think I ever have, actually. Kataomi. He's going to die here to Michael. Well, but the one bright spot is that it doesn't see the most. It's going to see the Queen of Pain right now.
Yeah, it does.
But it also means that it's very hard to de-ward this particular one.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do walk by that little spot. It just looks really funny. It looks more like a sentry location. But it does get them some pickoffs.
So, Pure trying to finish off his BKB. How big is the difference that BKB is going to make to his fortunes in this game?
I think pretty massive, because before that, even just Pango can hold him in place forever, it feels like, with his shard, with his blink. But now you have something to break out of that. You kind of force PP to land an RP on you. And if you don't get RP'd, Sven can actually burst people really, really fast now.
And to be fair, they still have the Demonic Purchase who's going to present some difficulties for him.
Yeah.
But now here they smoke. BetBoom Team, they want to reveal this newly minted Blink Dagger with the BKB to follow it up for Sven. Let's see who they can find. Unfortunately for the side of BetBoom Team, everybody from Edge already going to safer pastures.
Puppy
This observer will scout out both of these supports. But it gets de-warded immediately.
Oh, and these rockets, man. The Aghanim Scepter Clockwork is just laying in the barrage from far away, the rocket flares. Ton of vision for them.
Yeah. Miro was in the triangle right now, but he had to leave. There were traps everywhere. If he didn't, he would be dead right now, but thankfully for him, he did. But unfortunately for the team, the smoke. Oh, gonna catch Vitaly. Finally, at the very edge of it, they do get a grab. Pangolier will end up going down. The kill goes the way of Save, and that is, you know, given how the game has been unfolding, this is pretty good if they can all get out, and indeed, it looks like they will.
Clockwork shaved his beard a little bit there on the Nature's Prophet as he TPs out just barely. Just a shot. Gets to safety, but meanwhile, Queen of Pain finding the, you know, can split push the bottom lane. Pure using the top part of the map. They're doing a great job for the situation they're in. Like, BetBoom are still in dire straits for sure, but they're making the most happen.
Yeah. See Kataomi split pushing right now, trying to do his best Admiral Bulldog impression.
Yeah, he's working on an Aghanim Scepter on the support Nature's Prophet. Quite interesting to see. He went for the Vessel and Orchid, which I really like. Great aggressive items to try and find those pickoffs, and already got some value against the Pangolier. But now getting some root as well, which can be very useful.
Emblematic of the state of the game that we're in, GPK deems it safer to just Sonic Wave the wave than show up and kill it himself.
It's a long cooldown. He's not level 20 yet, so using the Sonic Wave there. 80 seconds still cooldown, and Roche getting started by Dire.
This is about to fall here. We'll see if where they sweep towards. Oh, they just got vision of the Sven in the top lane, but he's already out. He's TPing. The rest of Edge, they're actually going forward. They don't want to go into the background. They want to try and leverage this Aegis to get some more building damage done.
Yeah, and importantly, force people home. Because I think Edge, they know what's going on. They see some split push happening all the time down bottom. They know that they're farming the edges of the map. So you basically have to come knocking on the high ground and, you know, force people to come home and defend. Otherwise, this Queen is just ramping up towards their Shivas. If she gets that, she'll have enough armor to not get burst quickly by the TA. Even helps a lot against Pangolier's damage.
Her and Kataomi were also able to eventually take down the tier 2 tower, so the space that they opened up on the map was not in vain. Some additional gold for themselves. This is good signs. Kataomi's been scouted underneath an observer ward, but the rest of his team on the side of Edge are right in front because they need to defend against the push. Kataomi now does get jumped. Michael is there. But now they know that there's no clockwork on this jump. Kataomi turns his attention back in towards the clockwork. Clearly not enough damage to solo kill him just yet. They are fighting mano a mano. There's the Sprout. Michael with the Yules. He's actually running out of HP. He needs to get out of here. Does have calls and battery assault ready in a moment. But with PP being here, they will not be necessary. However, I do think that the Nature's Prophet will feel good because that move has zoned at least temporarily Edge away from the high ground.
It did. Yeah, the fact that Magnus had come over there as well. Nature's Prophet showing to be quite tanky with the Ogre Club and the point booster. A little bit too much HP.
Magnus might just die. Magnus might just die. Yellow gets the jump, gets the grab. There's the blow up, and Magnus is gone.
Nice takeout there. They are getting spotted repeatedly though. These rockets keeping tabs on them. TA taking over.
Oh, hookshot on the clockwork, he connects directly onto the axe. Two-shotted by Parker. Now Parker turns his attention towards the Shadow Shaman. There's a double kill for the TA. The silence onto GPK. He'll be able to blink away with the Ghost Scepter, but he's being chased down. His life is forfeit. He'll end up dead as well. 3 for nothing, so you got the Magnus, but at what cost on the map?
Yeah, Pure was hanging out, looking for a chance to turn it around, but they didn't clump up. They're doing a great job on the side of Edge, not to have everyone stand next to each other and get punished by Sven Cleave. Still staying pretty spread throughout these fights. Massive pickoffs and still 2.5 minutes on this Aegis, so this is definitely going to be the high ground attempt coming in, but look at them, cheeky rats. Splitting the top wave, mid, they still had snakes here, and Sven is cutting it.
Yeah, but sadly there's a Siege Wagon in the base right now, so somewhat immaterial. They don't even drop the Roshan's banner. With all the really dangerous heroes at the moment being dead, they just feel free, take a melee barracks, blink out to safety just before the heroes respawn. They might even stick around for the tier 3 tower as well.
Yeah, push even more. Already got the melee racks, the important racks on the top lane. Now mid-rack's falling. Queen does not want to buy back into this. If she does, she basically says, you know, whatever to my item progression. Super already. But this TA shows no sign of stopping. 1 minute, 40 seconds. She can go to the next lane. And they don't have that good options to deal with her. There's Shadow Demon behind, protecting her. Go.
They're gonna try and pull her right now. She is hexed though, so the blade mail damage doesn't come through. That was some anti-synergy save. Sort of messed up the initiation, forced to buy back. GPK in the meantime, hookshot in from Michael, sets up a very easy kill. Sven onto the TA, they're able to take away life number 1. GPK buys back as well, he does have access to the Sonic Wave. He drops it onto the TA, but Parker got off the BKB. Now outside of the base thanks to the 4 stops, he will be safe for now. Miro was looking for the core, couldn't find it. PP gets the RP now out onto the GPK, but Pure is able to jump in onto the Templar Assassin, kill her off, save. This time the Hex is good. Make sure that Parker goes down too. Kataomi almost died, but Vitali doesn't have enough damage to finish him off in time. Able to get caught up to by Pure and the gang as they finish off the Pango. All 3 cores dead from the side of Edge. The high ground is defended. It was an expensive hold, but in the end, it's a hold nonetheless.
Yeah, it was really, really big. Sven finally got to do what he wants to do. Just lay in the auto attacks in this fight. And TA, a little bit too far forward, perhaps, for even the Shadow Demon to try and save her. They had Lotus Orb, had the disruption, but even with the second life, it was hard to keep her alive when she's standing all the way down there. Gets pushed even deeper by the Sonic Wave as well. Hurricane Pike to low ground was nice, but then you see the bravery here, just linking into everything. And they staggered their blinks. They blinked into Queen of Pain first. RP got pulled, and then back in live, we actually have more action. They're looking to catch SD.
Yeah, we do indeed. But, okay, they're gonna hold off until we can finish the replay, it seems like. Michael goes in. He's about to get caught, actually, by the call. Gonna be some salvation provided by Puppy here. Michael's still alive. As he comes back in though, Pure jumps on top of his face, wants to bring him down, but the Yule Scepter keeps him up. Puppy does down the back of the fight to GPK, and now PP can't get either. He has been silenced, he has been killed. Kata only with this Orchid putting in the work.
Magnus does not have buyback. He spent his money earlier. Massive pickoffs. I don't think they're gonna commit for the push here though. Just be happy they forced the buyback, got kills. Dude, you cannot count BetBoom out. They were so far behind and struggling in this game, but now winning a second fight after the first good one. Kataomi does get quickly disposed of here by the TA though.
They swung 10k gold in literally 90 seconds. That's something.
That's some good GPM coming in.
But despite that, Sven is still 10,000 net worth behind the TA.
He's gonna need more exposure to that high GPM, okay? TA has been rocking that GPM basically for the entirety of the game. She's pretty far ahead and accelerated. 10,000 lead. And she's queuing up the butterfly. I think that can be a real nail in the coffin kind of move. You get some evasion and Sven can't just go on you and burst you anymore. So then what kills the BKB TA with Shadow Demon protecting her while she has butterfly? Like the question is getting harder and harder. It's a puzzle that keeps evolving.
It's fine, brother. Don't even worry about it, gang. Kataomi already has Orchid. He's just going to transition that into the full Bloodthorn. We pop that on the TA. She dies to all the damage, bro. There's no worries.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I like the positivity. There's still ways. You got to see the vision. And vision, an important thing right now is Axe has a high ground ward covering the triangle area. The scan
Radiant
does
scan
reveal
connects flush onto Michael. They might try to jump him. Michael realizes this. He's trying to get out right now. Miro's chasing him. Miro's going to find him with the call. So they should be able to net themselves a quick kill on the clockwork here. The question is, will Edge come in to defend this? And they will. Vitaly and the gang, they show up and they blow up the Axe. And he's not done. His Rolling Thunder finds save. Fortunately for Kataomi, he decided to change directions before going all the way forward. Otherwise, they would have found 3 kills for themselves here.
The long death timer. They know that Rasta doesn't have buyback. He committed it in the previous defense. So this is actually a big timing. They can exploit 80 seconds. I think more importantly, perhaps they will just use it for the Roche. Of course, they have TA in their team, so we'll know when the spawn is in 20 seconds. Potential spawn will start.
I think maybe the one thing they might be reticent about pushing now with is they had to pop BKB on Parker to get those kills. So
yeah,
need him to stay as defensively sound as possible, as he does not have anywhere close to the money required for buyback.
That's true. His expensive buyback is not that easy to pay for anymore when he farmed this much.
Yo, Roche, why are you doing Edge dirty like this, gang? Almost a max respawn. What?
It's gonna take a while. Not coming out quickly.
Oh, so you see some a giant small that just got picked up by the TA, so her damage output is just skyrocketed as well.
Yeah, she has so much. The giant small with the tough enhancement as well. Got some other big item being picked up. The Descent Bloodright on Axe. That is a lovely item to get. Extra AoE on the call.
Throwing in these rocket flares, getting vision. High ground, tier 3 towers taken.
Not easy to stop the TA from pushing like this, but TA, without Aegis, do you really want to overstay here? Feels like a risky move to try and go for the mega creeps without it, so they're gonna back out. Ooh, Nature's barely gets to safety.
Okay. The rest of his team, though, are hoping to catch somebody off the back edge. But unfortunately, like you mentioned, Edge deciding to play safe as long as they do not have this Aegis. BetBoom Team, though, also realize how important the next Aegis will be towards potentially just ending the game. And they're already getting some good positioning in the Aegis area so we can fight for it. Blink. Oh, Michael getting caught again. Ah, but pure pop God Strength for that one. I'm not sure how much worth this is. Save, get a nice hex out onto Poppy. Now with the God Strength, maybe they do want to take this fight. Sonic Wave going forward. Poppy still alive, not dead just yet. DP getting the drag back out onto the Shadow Shaman, bringing him toward Parker. Parker able to get the kill. And now Parker right-clicking onto Kataomi as well. That is two for one. They dive Hydra. Hero was trying to TP out, but he found himself getting interrupted by the Yule Scepter. And with all of these right clicks from PP, the RP as well, he ends up going down. Parker gets an ultra kill as he right clicks GPK. What an RP from PP. What a roll from Vitaly. And what a game from Edge. As GG well played is called. We are going to a game 3. It is not going to be easy for anybody.
A big play here by Edge, managing to turn the game around after the first game of the series looked really, really rough. This game number 2 on the back of Parker and his TA just being absolutely, stellar. 17-1 and 13, fantastic play by him. I think the big key though for me this game was really the support.
Of course, the momentum after game 2 certainly lies in favor of Edge, but I think this is the kind of draft for BetBoom Team that if they get a roll early on, it is kind of unstoppable at this like 25-30 mark when the Terrorblade still wants to be farming and they're barreling down on your tier 2, tier 3 towers.
Parker and Miro just having a little bit of fun with each other there before the game starting, saying good luck mi amor and good luck amigo coming out. So good friendships between the teams, it seems, as they are gonna face up again on the safe lane of TB, the off lane of Lycan. This is gonna be a rough one for him. Generally Lycan is hard against TB.
What I actually want to see some positive words between GPK and PP. It's just bad blood in this mid lane, bro.
The moment you said GPK, it doesn't matter between who and GPK as long as GPK is involved. There will be no positivity, man. I had people explain, I think it was Stormstormer explained to me once, he was like, well, GPK is one of those super toxic guys in a pub, but then you meet him in real life, it's like, it's all just how he acts online, it's all banter kind of thing. Like, he says things that are unhinged, but then you meet him and he's actually really chill. But, yeah, I've seen him say a few things to me or to others.
Yeah, I chopped it up with GPK once. Yeah, let's just say it's not just the online bats. It's not just the online bats.
Okay. I think it's, rite of passage. Everyone has to get flamed by GPK. It's your rite of passage to the Dota scene.
Well, GPK, we'll see if he can put on another clinic in this mid lane. Despite the fact that they lost game 2, he has not lost a single lane today. In fact, he's just been dominating against PP. And now it's going to be another lane matchup that he should be favored in. However, we don't really get to see Magnus versus SF all that much, so the ancient wisdom might not apply as it used to.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. So actually a first blood for Poppy. This 3-hero approach, setting up the surprise. And this is one thing that they can do, the Shadow Demon plus Talker. Really strong gankers level 1, using the Metamorphosis for big damage.
It did come at the cost of having to leave Vitaly alone for a wave, so he was being completely zoned by Pure and Kataomi. But nonetheless, getting that first blood makes it worth it in the end for Edge. Who got the actual kill? It was Poppy. All right, that's good stuff.
Yeah, Shadow Demon can get a little bit extra gold for himself early on. Already, I said the Shadow Demon trades pretty well against the Rasta, but the Lycan Wolves are trying to offset that balance a little bit, just helping save out.
Also, the Lycan went for pack leader in this game instead of going for the Alpha Wolf, so I think that lends credence into what we were talking about, that they really want to play this game up-tempo.
Yeah, the pack leader is so strong. In general, it feels amazing to have it, and later on can be a threat as well. Go on, Beastmaster.
Vitaly eats a blood grenade, he's getting ran down. He does pop a very big stick, but it might not be enough, it's not. Kataomi finds the final right click. Pure, it was very funny to watch him just not able to hit anything, but Vitaly still goes down.
This is where I will say a controversial thing. Oh, hold up. I'll wait with that.
Hold on. Halt the controversy, because Save might end up dead here, eating a lot of damage. He does manage to pop the stick. Parker also falling a bit low right now, thanks to Miero, who summoned some additional wolves. But Parker will be able to grab a Tango. Still has 1 charges, so he should be fine.
Yeah, he's fine, but it's pretty low. They're going to go under tower and try and deal some more damage. Save coming in with the threat of the shock as the blood grenade as well.
And Puppey doesn't have mana for the disruption. Parker could be in some trouble here. Reflection was popped though. That's going to give him enough space to break away here. Save is the one that's in trouble right now. Does drop the shackles as a blood grenade was on top of him. Self-disruption from Puppey just to buy some more time, but his life will be eventually forfeit. Miero claims the kill.
And that's the power of having a double creep wave pushing in under enemy tower. You know that they're going to be busy, preoccupied trying to get the last hits. They can't really fight back against you so well, so great move by BetBoom there. It's up top. Some just scrappy fights non-stop. CM is going to run to safety of the creep wave. It's going to be Dire claiming the healing lotus on either side. I was going to say my controversial thought, so I'll go back to it now and say that my controversial take is that even as a mid player, I still think CMs should go QW level 1, level 2. I see some CMs skill up Aura on level 2, and I honestly hate that. I love the Mango play and getting kills early. She is one of the strongest fighting heroes if you have the mana pool to use your abilities, so buy a Mango and just spam those spells so you end up getting kills.
You listening, all your mids in chat, huh? You listening. Help secure your team's lanes, not just your own.
People pinging the CM like Arcane Aura not learned, you know. Like, nah, dude, you gotta win your lane first.
But to be fair, even wouldn't you level Arcane Aura because it's GPK mid? I don't think you can get away with not leveling it.
You gotta give him extra shadow races.
There we go.
I mean, you definitely want it eventually. It's just, you know, level 1, level 2, the power spike of that Frostbite Crystal Nova. I really love the kill threat that it brings.
Speaking of GPK, he is the CS leader in this game right now, 10 up on this Magnus. To be expected somewhat, but PP is still getting levels. He's not dying. Yes, he's being massively out-CS'd and denied, but it's not nearly as bad as it was in game 2, sorry.
I actually think he's doing pretty well on Magnus, even though this matchup is so horrid. He does have 17 CS, it's not too bad.
Oh,
side lane.
Ended up dying on the other side of the map while there's a small skirmish happening bottom. They're going towards Parker here. He's eating a lot of damage from Nero. He's hoping to chase him down, but Parker immediately just gets rid of the Lycan Wolves. He understands where the threat is coming from and he will live. Top lane, Vitaly has already had to watch as the Clockwork went down. Clockwork is returning, however. Michael gonna be able to catch Pure. Pure a little bit too fast. Can't catch up.
Yeah, boots on Tiny. No boots yet on the Clockwork, so hard for him to get close. And that is a strong stacked small camp here. You got the Vuls plus the Ghost. This just clears your creep so fast.
Yeah. This wave is not long for this world, but Michael will try to steal away some of the CS as well.
Go and farm it. Easy with the wild access, so can prevent a lot of future grief there, making sure that there are no waves being denied.
Also put a lot of harass back towards Pure, who is thankfully sitting with a Healing Lotus and a Magic Wand, so he should be fine. But he is quite low. If they had one more hero here, they could try to go on him, but I think Puppey's priority will just be protecting Parker at all costs right now.
Yeah, after a previous game, makes a lot of sense, right? After his performance on the TA, he definitely wants Parker to do something similar this game. Attention towards mid though, Save. Looking for an angle. They have the SF ulti ready.
Yeah.
They can get close enough.
Save gets him. There's the shackles. CPs are coming in immediately. GPK going for the razors, but he doesn't go immediately for the ultimate, so they're able to get PP out with the assistance of Puppey. Shockwave will drag GPK underneath the tower. He'll eat some pot shots. Ultimately, those should be fine. Top lane, they're going for Vitaly now that they know he doesn't have one of these heroes ready to help assist him. The toss-up, couple of right clicks, and the Frostbite holding him in place enables Kataomi to get on a killing spree.
Yeah, Vitaly off to a pretty rough start again here at mid.
Oh, mix. GPK with the amplified damage rune. They get the kill. They were hoping to try and debate and turn around, but instead, he's the one that's putting in the pressure. Puppey only now pops the magic wand. He didn't have any mana, so he couldn't actually do anything just yet. Very unfortunate timing to go for that move.
Yeah, the DD rune as well. They have to respect it a little bit. At least SF doesn't really have a creep wave to push the tower. As they pull the creeps away, the tower is going to stay intact while the Magnus is respawning. And the 7 minutes coming in, and CM got some sneaky ideas, but the boar is going to spot her. I think she's in danger here. Michael, nearby.
Is she dead is the question. Divehawk will be there. Michael just cannot close the gap. Divehawk again. Pure. Nice avalanche. Just to separate the space a little bit. One more wild axis almost brought Kataomi to the brink, but ends up walking it off.
He desperately needs boots on this clockwork. He finally gets them now. Got them delivered on his courier. If he had it, I think he would have caught up there, but unfortunately didn't have it quite yet.
So we're here 7.5 minutes in. BetBoom Team do have the net worth advantage overall. What's the next move from them to try and solidify this advantage? Is there some items that they're waiting for before they can do anything? We'll talk about it in a second, because top lane, Kataomi running away. This time, like you mentioned, there are boots available. He catches up, 2 heroes within the cogs, but where is the damage? Kataomi will fall, but with GPK showing up, Michael follows him shortly into the
3
grave.
seconds for stun.
Pure just waiting for one more spell. Avalanche is back up underneath the tower. They still get it.
A nice takedown there. Can be very happy getting the punish as the aggressive move came out from Radiant, but backfires on them with GPK on the SF showing up. Does give time for PP to get a haste rune, at least on the Magnus. So now he can maybe look towards having impact if something happens on the side lane. But yeah, I was going to say that I think the ultimates are going to be the big thing to play towards. Now we have the Dominator. Oh,
hold on. Ultimate middle. That's what we want to see. Cogs will hold GPK underneath the tier 1 tower. Got no way out of this one. Puppy even TP's in just to make sure. So there's PP, able to get a kill. Now he activates the haste rune, so maybe we'll see if he does anything with this.
Yeah, that was really nice. And meanwhile, top with RP on cooldown, Pure is trying to pressure, but there is Roar. And the wraparound is coming, so I think he has to back up. TB actually swinging through the gate, thinking about it at least, but he's going to stop. As it's going to be Dire Heroes heading towards bottom instead. Both teams thinking about opening up the safe lane towers.
Parker's already trying to back here. He could get scouted out by some Lycan walls, but he's playing so safe. He doesn't see anybody. He sees his team pressuring top, but nobody's coming up to take any creeps on the wave. So plays quite safe. He gets out, and this rotation from Pure gets wasted.
It's a disciplined play to stick back that far. And Pure is gonna just head back to his top lane. Michael almost connecting to the CM there.
They have Puppy here. They're actually thinking about going in. Michael's coming for the backstab, but immediately they realize it's a mistake. Too many supports are here. Hex out onto Vitali. Kataomi, though, also eating a battery assault, so he's falling super low. The save with the toss back. Shout out Pure. But now we might not have anything to defend against the Terror Blade as Parker goes in with the meta. Pure, though, able to run away from any of the disables that they have. They catch up to save. They're slowing him down. He throws back some shackles, though, towards Vitali, who also gets connected into with the frostbite and ends up dead. Puppy could not save him. No spells available, not much mana either. GPK now is caught inside these cogs. He's in trouble. The right click coming in from Parker. That would be a dead GPK Shadow Fiend. PP looking for some more, though. With the shockwave, they go forward. They're able to bring down Kataomi. Save, shackles him up right now. And they finally are able to clean up this Magnus. It's 2 for 3 so far, and they're chasing for more. Avalanche will connect. Nicely done. Puppy knows that his life is forfeit. At least gets the bounty rune on the way out. Not going to be able to buy out anything, but will at least waste their time before dying.
He goes for the neutral camp, but not going to make it all the way there as Toss stops him in his tracks and just brings him down. In the end, a lot of return kills, but getting the kill on SF, I think, was really important, slowing down his progress a little bit in this game, as he's going to be an important hero for Dire to play around. Looks like he's going for the Blink Dagger Rush build, by the way. He has it queued up right now, so not going for the Kayasha Rush by any means.
Not just queued up, my friend. It's flying in at the moment.
It's coming now.
They're pressuring the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. They should grant the gold for the full Echo Saber onto Pure. A little bit more opening on the map. And of course, closer we get to the Helm of the Overlord for this Lycan. However, the one drawback of these kind of plays is Parker quietly amassing a ton of gold. And we've seen what can happen when these are the circumstances of the early game.
Yeah, he's finding his farm for sure. Attention is being given to other heroes. He's finding a lot of jungle free time, and that's all you want as a Terrorblade. Just give him a little bit more time. He's going for the Yasha into a Dragonlance. We'll see where it goes from there.
Bottom. Kataomi gets caught. Vitali's in the vicinity as well, so they would love to be able to find this kill, give this Beastmaster a bit more presence in the game. Save will find himself getting roared, and the Vitali roar will actually get the damage to kill Kataomi. Puppy saving his support or clockwork for now, but with the appearance of Miro, it's not going to be good enough. They've already managed to kill off one. They're chasing for more, but everybody's back. In the end, yes, you end up losing 1 for 1, but Vitali had to commit roar for that one. You'll take it as BetBoom.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it did cost them the Lycan ulti and the snakes coming out from Rasta as well, so they committed something as well. But definitely gonna be happy as long as the Beastmaster is not getting stuff done on the map. And Beast getting a pretty damn late timing on this Dominator. He went Mana Boots into Dominator. He is pretty far behind his counterpart, who is closing in on the Helm of Overlord already. Just needs 470 more gold.
Smoke up now by PP as well as Michael as they want to reveal the Blink Dagger that PP just got. Does have RP at the ready as well. But look at Save, positioned perfectly to try and break the smoke. And they'll see him. It'll just be a nice free kill for themselves. Hookshot is committed for it, but as long as nobody else dies on the side of BetBoom, they're happy.
Ah, he's gonna go down. Clockwork tried to leave the kill for his Magnus, but unfortunately the battery assault claimed the kill for him. In the end, good kill. They didn't have to commit anything. You know, you didn't find the big target, but also you still have RP. You can just go for another move, keep looking for kills.
They might decide to sweep towards top. That's where Puppy is situated at the moment. But now Parker's like, well, you boys can do that. Me, I have a date with the Ancients. I'd rather just farm. Pierre also of the same mind as he's heading to the north side to farm those Ancients.
Yeah, I'm just farming away. Tiny going for the Sanj next, so it looks like a Sanj Yasha build from Tiny. Makes a lot of sense when you play against these hard disables, the Magnus, the RP, and the Beastmaster Roar, of course. Good to get some status rest going.
Got a smoke up right now towards Puppy. He's the only one on the north side of the map. Save rolling through with GPK and Kataomi. We'll see if they connect onto him while he's at the Lotus Pool. Doesn't seem like it. Looks like he'll get back in time, so does seem to be a wasted smoke. They'll have to instead satiate themselves with grabbing the tier 1 if they can.
Yeah, I think they're setting up the push at least. They realized that they're too late for the Wisdom, but now Tiny shoving the lane, Lycan showing up as well with his Dominator creep, and they place a deep ward, revealing the TB for a moment. Not an easy target to
also
burst
see Michael
with
showing
SD.
up. Yeah. PP, mid lane. Oof. Close call, close call, close call.
TB's quick. Gets himself to safety. He's queuing up a BKB next. Understandable in Magnus. You want to be able to cast your spells. There's a lot of disable on Dire. Honestly, kind of hard to play the game if you don't have it. This is where the advantage can start building, though. With Lycan having this Helm of the Overlord creep already, having Dragon, he can start pressuring the map a lot more, whereas Beastmaster, he's still working on it, man. He needs 1,500 gold, and then he can start ramping a bit.
It still astonishes me how expensive Ultimate Orb is nowadays.
Yeah. Costs a lot. But on the other hand, it's also a lot stronger. Like, Iox Scotty feels amazing in the current patch. 35 total stats is so good. Which I think is well overdue. Nice little farming ult here by Kataomi. He only has 1 point in his
Scotty was
Costello.
too mediocre for too long. Needed to justify its purchase, right? Outside of just a heal reduction.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing was that they made it not pierce debuff immunity. It used to be a BKB piercing slow, but it doesn't pierce debuff immunity, so that's the big problem with the item right now.
Katoni. He's having a big problem with staying alive at the moment, as Michael able to bring him down. At the same time, though, Miro did pop the ultimate, so they might come in to try and punish Michael for this one. He doesn't have a way down for this one. Oh, the RP!
Oh, what a hex
It's
throw.
dodged. PP gets nothing. He gets caught inside the wall trap instead, and he will end up going down. There's a primal roll out onto Miro in the low ground here, so he dies too. Pure, as he shows up, he doesn't really have much more to contribute, so he will back up a little bit. So have a mid support traded for off-laner support. In the grand scheme of things, though, BetBoom Team did find the counter kills and they dodged the RP, so they'll be much happier with that exchange.
They did, but you could also look at, like, everything went wrong for them, and still they come out with an even trade. So I think they should be happy things weren't worse than they turned out. The Lycan getting isolated there with Beastmaster Roar, TB laying in damage to him, sort of salvaged what was an awful start to the fight.
This TB now has Manta style pretty much finished. It's coming out towards him. And GPK about to finish his BKB. But this Manta is very, very scary. Because right now, unfortunately, Tiny is still building into like real massive damage output, right? So without these big raises, getting through these illusions is fairly tough for BetBoom Team at the moment.
Yeah, the Tiny's build is also very low damage output for now. Like, it's gonna take a while before he starts hurting a lot. I'm actually surprised because Pure, I know him to be a very greedy player overall, but these are more stay strong early and fight type of items. He didn't go shard, he didn't go for some crazy Moonshard build or some Mask of Madness. Instead, he's going for just reliably being as strong as possible early. But that does mean that his physical damage, right now, he does not have enough to go through the 35 armor of the Terra Blade right now. It's going to be very difficult for him.
We're gonna smoke up right now, BetBoom. As they say, well, we have some blink daggers that we want to show off a little bit. Let's see if we can get them. Dire Scan will come. It will connect flush onto these Radiant heroes. So BetBoom have an idea of where they're at. We also see Parker farming the wave. Are they gonna get here in time? Now they smoke as well on the side of Edge. Big fight's about to break out here on the bottom side of the map. Who gets caught first? The Avalanche will reveal the creeps, but that does show exactly where they're at. Hookshot goes forward. They catch up onto Save first and foremost. So the Shadow Shaman is the first casualty of this fracas. Let's see who else will follow him. BetBoom team want nothing more to do with this one. Miro popped the shapeshift just to get out. Now the rest of Edge say, well, if you don't want to fight, we know somebody who does. It's the big man in the pit. Let's just go say hello.
Yeah, they're heading over. You see the meta being committed for the mid tower and then gonna turn that into a Roche as well with the Metamorphosis. And of course, Empower giving a lot of damage. This team is hitting for 360 damage a pop. So Roche will fall pretty damn fast. Doesn't look like they have any intention of contesting it. Just going for a tier 2 trade instead. I'm not even sure they will get it in time though.
All that's left for Parker is, as his next neutral item, if he gets a Gunpowder Gauntlet with the Empower. That sounds sexy.
Big damage. He is queuing up the IO Scotty. Parker is one of the players who I think has a little bit of love for the Scotty, more so than certain other TB players that I see. He was known for, you know, going for a second item Scotty for some time against these big heal strats when we had a lot of Death Prophets and so on. He recognized how to counter it. But of course, getting Scotty is just a massive power spike on TB.
What have we made of GPK on the Shadow Fiend? So we're 20 minutes into the game. What does his future look like, and how do you feel about his impact upon the game so far?
I actually feel like your prophecy that you don't like the caster SF is kind of coming true here, but I'm not surprised. I'm very surprised that he didn't go for Kayasha at all in this game. He's queuing up now, but that's very late. And so far, we haven't really seen him do a ton of damage or get big ultis out. So lackluster so far, but we'll see. He gets vision on multiple heroes, but he's kind of alone.
Yeah, he doesn't actually want to be here. He needs to get out of here very, very quickly. He's going to wrap up the ultimate, send it out. Miro takes the Twin Gate through to provide some additional support. Okay, that'll spook the rest of Edge into getting out. But don't know. Actually, they cancel their TP. Just going to re-engage here. Primal roll out onto Miro. The Lycan is dead.
I mean, they saw the SF on 2 illusions, the SD illusions only, so there was nothing for them to really be worried about from him anymore. And like I said, Tiny doesn't really pose a big damage threat at this stage of the game, so easy fight for them. They get the shard over on Clockwork. You and I have been emphasizing a bit how vision advantage is so big, and now having this shard as well, allowing you to reposition a bit more on the Clockwork, definitely a nice thing.
I will say another piece of my trepidation about the caster SF from the mid lane is when you're in these kind of scenarios where the game is like this, where I mentioned in the draft, where you're the ones that need to fight, right? It's very clear that BetBoom needs to fight, but how? How do you do it with the draft that you have? There's no blink on Tiny. Look where Tiny's at, actually. He's in trouble. They need to get some help for him. SF is on the way. They do drop the freezing field as well for Kataomi. That'll make him a difference, but he ends up dead for it. And now PB getting the 2-hero skewer, Pure as well as Save, will be dragged into the waiting arms of the Parker Terrorblade. Hell, even Save's Courier can get it too. Technically 4 kills in this fight, and Parker, with this Metamorphosis pop, there's no way they're not going all the way forward until the tier 2 tower.
Oh yeah, easily tier 2 tower, straight into it. It's got the meta going still, so damage is massive. But they're just playing really good Dota right now, and a little bit too aggressive from Pure to try and push that far under the enemy tower. Expecting not to get caught, but PP, he had been on point. The skewer back up top we saw onto the Lycan, and then catching here as well together with his friends. Of course, the Clockwork was the first one started. The follow-up, the 2-hero skewer back was giving them some nice heroes to just lay in the TB damage into.
Question I have, what was Pure doing that far deep though.
I mean, he saw that they were playing top, but I mean, he overstayed. There's no easy way to say it. He just overstayed his welcome for sure. The Tormentor had already fallen by the time that he was doing this, so this was, yeah, not reading the map correctly.
Also, he's building Blink Dagger right now, right? On Pure. So
Yeah,
the question I have for you, why didn't they just put the tiny mid, bro, with this build?
Honestly, both the Pulse 1 and Pulse 2 are struggling to have the impact that they need. I mean, I know GPK is still 4, 2, and 3. He has had some positive impact in this game, but I do feel like both of them are kind of struggling to connect the way they want to. Whereas even the Magnus, who had a horrible laning stage, is finding much better entrance into these teamfights. And look at him. Cohesion. I said that was the difference between Game 1 and Game 2. And look at them all playing together. Making moves.
Well, look at them all killing Pure. Pure's dead. Pure's so dead. He is so... my
There's
friend.
no way out.
Hare boss. Hare boss. Michael's gonna go in first to set this one up, but doesn't even take them that much effort. Michael PP is more than enough. He is down for the count, and that even delays the Blink Dagger even further. And if he's not getting this Blink now, bro, when is he gonna ever buy BKB in this game?
Yeah, I mean, they're catching him at a very, very vulnerable time. He doesn't really have the damage output. He doesn't have a blink yet. This Sanjasha Echo Saber build, I haven't really seen this exact build up before, but I feel like it's very weak outside of just having a lot of HP. And you can have whatever HP you want. TP will shred through you. You will not just out-sustain against this. And with Tiny still respawning for 18 seconds, Parker's just making up the high ground, claiming this area. He's putting down a flag.
Yeah.
Doesn't have
And
a
the
literal
flag is
banner,
me,
but
baby.
a figurative banner in all his illusions.
Does have his Aegis expiring in the next 5 seconds, so there's not the cleanest situation to remain in. They could try catch them out there. Unfortunately, we still don't have that blink on Tiny. But worse yet, we still don't have a Blink Dagger on Shadow Shaman. Like, they don't have any instant initiation from BetBoom at all right now.
Yeah, trying to go around. Shadow Shaman still has Ether Lens, so good range to initiate with. Like an ulti committed, this is a go.
Here they come. Coming in on the back edge. Michael, he's in position to try and break some smokes here. The rest of the team already getting into the safe areas. The Hex will come out onto Michael. So the clockwork looks like he might go down first. Poppy commits the disruption to save him. He TPs out on the Shadow Shaman. Michael hook shots away. Will he escape from this? He will.
No way. What? How? How did all of them live, dude? That's insane. I mean, that's actually crazy. The first save there from Shadow Demon, keeping Clockwork alive for a little bit longer, and then they find a way to get every single hero out scot-free. That's crazy.
Wow. Not just got free, they got the tier 3 tower while doing it.
Oh, yeah,
so they
you're
suffered
right.
0 penalties. It's all gains on the side of Edge right now.
Even quite a bit of damage to that range rack, so even just TP Illusions going up there is going to pose a serious threat, or, you know, the Helm of Overlord creep coming over there. This is already a structural weakness induced.
We also saw that the thing we were talking about with Pure's damage output, he's realized it as well. He's changed his mind.
Yeah.
He's eschewing getting the Blink Dagger, allowing the Shadow Shaman to pick that one up instead, and he will go straight for the Revenant's Brooch. They're realizing just how big of a problem the Tyrant Blade is becoming.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's doing nothing to TB, and TB's armor is just increasing. 45 armor is a lot, man. So yeah, he needs the magic damage. Brooch is your only best bet as a Tiny to try and add some. The idea is
something
though,
I actually didn't...
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was gonna say that the big connection that we need though is that they somehow kill off the SD so he can't save, and then let the SF ulti. But it's so hard when Beast, Magnus, and Clock all have a way to stop the SF ulti. So I think GPK is getting really in his own head that I can't blink in an ulti because any one of them can stop me. Hookshot, Roar, RP.
You know, the thing I want to say actually feeds perfectly into that, right? The reason they're having that struggle is because they have one blink on Shaman, and Shaman cannot solo kill the Shadow Demon whatsoever.
Yeah.
So they need the Tiny, but he's not buying blink. And another thing, you know, I told you I'm skeptical about mid SF. I've hated carry Tiny for many, many months right now, so sad as this is for BetBoom fans, I will say, for me right now, I'm experiencing quite a bit of vindication as Edge is now pushing on the high ground with the Terror Blade. Skewer back, PP. Nice reactions from Kataomi with the Frostbite. That will keep him alive, but it can do nothing for the Rax.
But the Rax is gone. They're dropping. They're trying to split push meanwhile, but the catch is coming in. Pure, has he overstayed again?
He takes the tier 2 tower, but he's gonna die for this. Both him and Save caught inside the RP. Ripped to shreds by Parker and the gang.
Oh my
So they
God.
get the lane of Rax bottom. They come and kill off the Tiny. Yes, he got the tier 2, but definitely not worth his life at this stage, especially without buyback.
I love Miero's inventory right now. The observer is pointing out there's a nullifier, Hermal Overlord, and an Aghanim. Nothing else. You cut out all the nonsense. Very straightforward item build. At least now he can turn the Tiny into a wolf and send him in, but I wonder, man. I wonder if they can take a fight against this Radiant lineup. It just seems so well put together.
You know, normally I love Nullifier when I see the enemy team has supports that buy Gold Scepters, Force Staffs, and these kind of items. My only concern, though, is let's assume he actually reaches Puppey at the back edge of the fight, right? And can cast that Nullifier onto Puppey to disable the Gold Scepter. In what universe does he actually survive in that moment? Like, he's actually not that tanky on this Viking. 2.5k HP, you know, just shy of 30 armor. Terrorblade looks at that and just scoffs and says, what is this? A wet noodle? I don't care about this.
Yeah, that's so true. The fact that he doesn't have any BKB as well means that even just a clockwork hookshotting into cogs could be enough to keep him in place for TB to murder him with Metamorphosis. So yeah, definitely got some big issues. It's going to be hard for BetBoom the next fight. Positioning is going to be so important. On the bright side of things, though, it feels like this game is more than a 9k deficit. It feels like BetBoom are farther behind, but they're actually keeping up their net worth decently well for all the struggles that we've seen them have.
Well, now they have to take the toughest fight they've had so far, because this time around, Parker does have BKB on the Terrorblade. Miero goes into the shapeshift. They pop the smoke onto the Shadow Shaman. They go first onto the clockwork. Can they kill him off in time? PP, another amazing skewer, brings back Pure, and there's Parker with the right-click damage from the high ground. He does manage to get away on the Tiny. They kill off both of these supports in the meantime. Kataomi, though, he's going to die to these illusions from Parker. He buys back immediately. Puppey, he bought back, he dies back. They got to him. Now, though, Pure able to barely escape, but Miero not going to be so lucky. The RP holds him in position. He ends up dead. Parker now also kills off Save. We do see GPK with the razors, able to get through onto Vitaly, ending the killing streak. Can he get out? Does have BKB, does have the TP in 15 seconds, so he should be fine. Pure, is he fine? He doesn't have BKB, and unfortunately, Parker's right on the other side of him. So Parker will kill him off with the help of PP, who actually gets the credit for that one. So ultimately, yes, your SF survives. Yes, you force a dieback from them, but you still resoundingly lose the fight.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the top lane of range racks falls as well. So like I said, the weakness there. So now they have both lost their racks bottom and top. So annoying. Now gonna get the creep waves automatically pushing on either side as Roshan is up and Radiant. They're heading over. I think last fight we also saw, if they commit the SF ulti and it's not to burst the TB, Parker literally cannot die. Like, he feels completely unkillable at that point. Tiny is never winning that fight. I think you could give Tiny like 40 seconds for free of just trying to kill the TB and he will just not die.
To make matters worse, that was sort of a best case scenario for them, right? They get the clockwork first immediately. Yeah. They isolate Puppey from the rest of the team. And when Puppey comes back, right, they know exactly where he's going, onto the outpost. So he's nowhere near where the cores are. So they're actually able to get to him and kill him. And even with all of this in their back pocket, they still only barely walk away without being team wiped.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very well executed team fight by BetBoom, but they're working with, you know, outdated technology here against the TB, who is just from the future. He's the man traveling back in time with a machine gun. You know, he's looking absolutely uncontested. 6-0-6. After that TA game, Parker is pulling up another strong performance.
I kind of live.
We have a Roche attempt starting out.
That has a ring to it. Parker the Terminator. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Arnold Parker. I don't know. We'll workshop it later. We'll figure it out.
They are smoking over. I think they realize if they give away this Aegis, it's just good game. You cannot stop the TB from getting mega creeps if he gets his hands on this Aegis. But look at the defensive smoke coming out.
Yeah.
The wolf is going to tell them that they're not in the pit.
Shadow Shaman, he breaks the smoke onto Michael. There's going to be a horn toss death onto the Shadow Shaman very, very quickly. He doesn't have buyback himself. Miro's already committed the shapeshift. Would like to get something going forward. Here comes Pure coming forward with the wolf bite, not able to get connection onto anybody. Instead, he gets hookshotted by Michael, and here comes the right-click damage. Vitaly even supplies the primal war as well. They want Pure, and they are gonna get him. He is gone, does have buyback, however. Save was already committed the buyback, trying to come back into this fight, but he gets RP immediately as he makes an entrance. entrance into the engagement. PP locks down the entire damn team, giving an ultra kill to Parker and granting them the whole damn series. GG, well played is called. Edge win this 2-1 and send themselves very happy into day 2.
Wow, impressive stuff from Edge here. I mean, after game number 1, we were worried that we were going to have a quick 2-0. BetBoom is just too strong, but...